This is the beautiful world of Grand Theft Auto. It's finally here on PC. So what we're gonna do is, since I have a GTX 970 with a 4790K, we're gonna be taking a look at how it performs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Theft Auto 5 online multiplayer. So let's get into it. The game is very well optimized. As you can see on the right hand corner of the screen, you can see something called core temp. Obviously that big box, you can't miss it. You just can't miss it. You're like, oh my god, Fabian, I don't know what that is. Some of us don't know, some of us do. We're not technical like that. Damn, help us. Yes. So what this is it shows me the CPU information of what the CPU is actually doing. So the CPU is pretty much even out of all cores. The first 4 bars are actually the processor, the cores. The 4 cores happening right there. And the last one is actually the RAM utilization. Now, before you go all hippity-duppity, I might be using over 8 gigs in this video. I can't tell because Sony Vegas, I'm doing a voiceover, and Sony Vegas is not scaling the video well, even no matter how large I enlarge it, how big I enlarge it, so I can actually see the numbers clearly. It's just not happening. So I just have to assume it's probably over 8 gigabytes. And this really depends and varies on what you have running in the background, applications, programs that you have installed, Fraps, Steam, Origin, core temperatures, printers and Corsair things and headphone software that you have installed. Would really depend, honestly. So gamers are still fine with 8 gigabytes of RAM, so you have nothing to worry about. Now, on the left-hand corner, you can see that text in blue. Now, you're going to be looking for something that says FPS. Maybe I should have shut most of those things off, but I forgot. Yes. So as you can see, I'm getting pretty much 60 frames per second, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I know there's a benchmark. I know you guys are gonna be, oh my god, Fabian, there's a benchmark in there. There's a benchmark. No, I want to show you this way. Okay, I know I think the benchmark happiness is kind of different every time, I guess, in some cases, but this is okay too. This is real world. This is me playing the game, and yes, I am using Nvidia Shadowplay to record this, but this only takes to maybe 3 frames per second compared to Bandicam. I wanted to use Bandicam to get my face on it, but that would just eat up like 5 or 10 frames per second, or maybe even more. And the video was just kind of sluggish and would dip below 60 frames per second, so that wasn't really cool. Bandicam, okay. All right, so your frames per second is on top. You can see it says like 61, 60 FPS or 65 FPS. It's right there on the top. You can see it. I'm sure you can. Also, you can see the frame rate if you look on the top right hand corner. You see that green icon, the green number up there? That's also the frame rate. So you can pay attention to that also. And the GPU utilization is 95%, around there. Pretty high. That's the total usage of the graphics card, which is normal. Now, this is going to be my current settings. I have everything pretty much very high, and it works very, very well for me. Some things that really eat your frame rate would be the grass quality and multi-sampling, and a few other things on the advanced graphics tab, which I turn all the way down because it sucks up a lot of frame rate, of course, and this is the distance scaling and stuff like that. I turn those off. So with MSIA, I have that on 2x. I have everything on pretty much ultra, as high as it can go. And I have the grass quality on very high. Now I did ultra and it just ate up my frame rate. Even with MSA off, it eats up frame rate. And what this would do, the grass quality, if you set it on normal, basically when you're roaming around, some grass might not pop up, it might be flat. And I saw that and I was like, hell no. Put it back to very high. So I did. I put it back to very high and I'm loving it so far where it's at. So yeah, it's pretty good for me, honestly. And MSIA, I cannot go over 4x. Oh, I can't even go over 2x. Let's just put it there. Okay, I can't go over 2x. If I go to 4x, it might work in some areas. I might sustain 60 frames per second in some areas. But as soon as I get to certain places, maybe the city, it could dip down because the city does have more buildings, pedestrians, and cars, and all these things happening. It's a city, there's so many buildings and stuff it has to draw in and stuff. It can actually deteriorate performance a little bit. But this is the best way that I found with the 970 and the Intel processor, the 4790K, that I'm able to achieve 60 frames and over, depending, in terms of the current graphics quality that I currently have. You'll be fine also with an i5 processor because it's not even CPU dependent, quite honestly. So, I mean, i7 just has hyper-threading, so it's not really that big of a deal, quite honestly. I don't think it's a big of a deal with hyper-threading. I have not tested that, so, but either way, games normally aren't dependent on hyper-threading, just maybe rendering softwares and things like that, so you should be fine. Now, what might not work very well, and it's something you should all calculate into when you're tuning your graphics settings, is explosions. Oh my god, explosions, numbers of players, maybe. If you got like a bunch of players together and they're doing a bunch of crazy things, then you could experience frame rate drops. You got a bunch of cops chasing you, vehicles exploding, and the cops are chasing you while vehicles are exploding, you can get a lot of frame rate drop. So you gotta be very careful with that. And I think I did experience a frame rate drop. I'm not sure how much. I'm gonna relook at the video, and I did crash the plane, and it dropped down to maybe 40 or 30. I'm not sure how far it dropped down. I even crashed the helicopter, and it dropped down even further, as you can see there. So I don't know what those are. The numbers are, I forgot what the numbers are, because I was just having fun with the game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tune it so that when I crash the helicopter, I don't get a frame rate loss. I hope I don't have to do too much. I think MSAA is just one of the biggest ones. If I turn off the MSAA, I should be able to play this game smoothly with crashes. It doesn't matter what happens. If there's 30 guys on me and cops and they all exploded together, I just maybe not. But what are the likelihood of that even happening? But it's still pretty good for what it is right now, and the game has been optimized very, very well. Thank you, RockStar. I know a lot of people have been complaining about how the game is taking forever to come out, but you know what? I do appreciate you guys for doing something like this, for delaying the game and make sure everything is cool and status quo, so that when it comes out, we can all have a really good experience and we don't hate you at the end of the day. Because that's what's gonna happen. People complain, and when the game comes out and it's broken, they cry. It's like, oh my god, look what you did to us. You brought out this stupid game. It's not working properly. We paid $6 for this. I want my money back. I want my money. Shut up. I hope it ain't for anybody out there. But some people are actually like that. And you have to understand, if a developer says it's not ready, it's not ready. Go tell your mom, yo mom, where that food at? And she says it's not ready. You can go take it? Go ahead. She'll whoop your ass. But yeah, that's kind of the thing, The game runs really, really well. This is one of the greatest games that I've ever played, especially in terms of quality and optimization on release. Battlefield 4 was just really bad, and you have Assassin's Creed. There's so many games that come out and they're just rushed out the door, and you even have Star Wars is coming out at the end of the year. Seems to be rushed out, maybe. I think maybe it's too soon for that game. Yo, we'll see. It's EA. They're pushing things out. They're still trying to compare Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty is probably a dying franchise. I don't know. I don't play COD like that anymore. I'm sorry. I used to be heavy into Modern Warfare 2. And I'm going off topic right now. I'm sorry. Okay, but this is kind of the settings that I have. And if you're planning on actually building a system like mine, like a 970 and a 4790K, even a 4690K. I don't know what that is. Is it 4690K? I think it's a 4690K, which is the Core i5 variant. You should be fine. Even if not, you can still even overclock it, and it's really not that difficult to overclock. So, yeah, you shouldn't need to. But even though there's kind of a difference, there's a difference, okay? And it also varies on your motherboard. So, yeah, that's something that has to be looked into. I'm not gonna comment on it anymore. But yeah, the game runs very smooth with the setup. Even with the graphics card overclock, I got like 5 extra frames, 5 to 6, 7, 8 extra frames, 5 to 7 frames per second extra. So that's always welcome. It's always welcome to have more frame rates. So this is what you can really expect with my current setup. If you plan on going with it, you probably just research and see how it will work with Grand Theft Auto 5. This is it, baby. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Can't beat the 970 for the price. Yes, guys, I'm aware of the 3.5 gigs. I know. But at the end of the day, it's still pretty good, and it runs really well, and I can turn up my graphics. And AMD hasn't released their 300 series graphics cards as yet, so I don't know what to say. There's nothing else out there right now. I'm sorry. Facts. unless, you know, you want to go with the 290X. And like the 390X is around the corner. I'm just saying, maybe you should wait a little bit. Just wait, check it out. So yes, I think that'll pretty much do it for the video. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below, and I will talk to you guys later.